Sorry. Can you repeat that? My ears are still blocked. Oh, I said, do you feel this is better for you in the long run to like try to wake up early in the morning instead of staying up? And were you actually able to sleep? Let me also change the microphone a little bit like this. Yeah, probably better. Probably better, yeah. I mean, for the long run, it's probably better anyway, but... Yeah, if you couldn't... Oh yeah, I need to do something. Almost forgot. Let me just real quick, before I forget again. Chat box, copy. Oh, although if I do a chat box here... I don't know if that's going to work out. I need a custom chat box. Although because doing both chat boxes, like every chat box in every version shares the color. So right now, if I do this test, yeah, I cannot do it. I completely forgot because I can do it here though. If I do this test, you can see the chat box there. You can see it, but once I go to this one, you can still see it. It's just that the black text doesn't vibe with the red background. I need to have a custom chat box prepared for myself, so that something that is easy to see no matter what the background color is. Like a lot of streamers have that, so it's a bit easier to read. But okay, I would say let's not waste any more time. Let's let's step into the fun. This is the last 10 of the 1600s SCP. We have managed to read. After this, we'll have managed to read over 1,700 SCPs. So, without further ado, let's jump into... This is a long ass title. Sentimental Sushi Man with a Wasabi Sculpture. That is a very long... That is not the one I've been warned about. No, the one I've been warned about was 1730, I believe, right? Which I immediately was like... I didn't want to come across as arrogant. But I told the person was like, good luck with 1730, and I was like... My man, I read all of once, and a majority of the experiments for 914. I think I can handle it. It is definitely an arrogant thing. Like, for me, it felt like arrogant to come across like, hey man, don't you know who I am? Yeah, 1730. Trust me, you won't have issues with it. Yeah, that's what I thought. But now we know that when we have to start with that one, it's gonna be a long one, which I believe that's next week Sunday. Which Sunday is always a bit more exhausting to read. So that might be a bit of a problem, but other than that, we should be fine. Okay, now let's see about the Sushi Man with the Wasabi sculpture. Euclid. SCP-1690 and -1 are to be contained inside a standard humanoid containment cell monitored by CCTV cameras at all hours. When interacting with SCP-1690, personnel are to maintain a polite demeanor to avoid unnecessary aggravation. Should SCP-1690 display any signs of shock or sudden distress, any personnel present in the cell are to immediately vacate and seal the containment cell. No further interaction is to occur until SCP-1690 has returned to an unstressed emotional state. Ain't we all like that? Once we're stressed out, we should always have a whole foundation be like, hey, calm down. Sit down and calm the fuck down, okay? Anakin, stop panicking. That's basically what we need. SCP-1690 is a humanoid entity composed entirely of cooked vinegared rice, sushi meshi, dried seafood, and pieces of various raw fish. The components of SCP-1690's body do not appear to age, though any food produced by SCP-1690 using parts of itself is perishable. He sounds delicious. SCP-1690 has no easily discernible facial features, but possesses sensory perception similar to that of humans. SCP-1690 is capable of bipedal locomotion and has demonstrated advanced fine motor skills. SCP-1690 is also able to speak fluent Japanese as well as English, albeit with a strong Japanese accent. While speaking, the entity will insist on addressing all individuals with Japanese honorifics of respect. So like son. Yeah. Researcher son. Dr. AfroFluff's son. Well, actually, that he wouldn't. I don't think he would. Would he say Dr. AfroFluff? I think he would just say AfroFluff's son. I don't think. Yeah. I don't. Does Japan have? What would they use for doctor? Because we know, of course, for sensei, senpai, and so on and so forth. But what do they use for doctors? Because like every single doctor that, well, not every single, but majority of anime that show doctors are usually school doctors, school nurses, and all that stuff, which is still called sensei. I actually have no idea what they call actual doctors. SCP-1690 claims to be an amalgamation of the spirits of discarded and uneaten sushi rolls made for the beautiful pursuit of true love, and professes that its goal is to craft sushi that will reveal the pure feelings of its creator. SCP-1690 insists on being in constant presence of a small sculpture made of wasabi. This is -1. So we have a humanoid being made purely out of sushi with paranoia. that is not what I expected. I thought he made the sculpture. I didn't think he was thinking he's being chased by a sculpture. That's something different. -1 similar to SCP-1690 does not degrade over time. It is modeled in the shape of a young woman wearing traditional Japanese attire, consistent with that of Edo period noblewoman. I saw like something pop up and I didn't check it. Oh well. Well, I think I know what it was, but let me double check if that's actually the case. It is the case. It's another streamer who I'll tell you afterwards. I'll tell you after reading this. SCP-1690 will regularly use wasabi taken from a cavity located on the left side of its chest to maintain -1's shape. When the sculpture is removed from SCP-1690's presence, SCP-1690 will exhibit emotional distress. Oh, okay, so he's not thinking he's being chased, but it's actually physically there. Never mind. Oh yeah, it comes to the amalgamation of the spirits of discarded and uneaten sushi rolls made for the view. Okay, wait, let me read this. Insists on being in the constant presence of a small... I see. So when it says insists on being in the constant presence of the small sculpture, it's not like he's saying I am and there's nothing there. No, he's saying I need to be. I misread that completely. When a sculpture is removed, emotional distress, after a certain period of time without proximity to -1, SCP-1690's physical structure will begin to deteriorate and it will begin to fall apart. Upon return of the sculpture, SCP-1690's body will gradually reform. Ain't this the definition of a clingy relationship? I have to be around her 24/7, man, you don't understand. SCP-1690 behaves in a normal... wow, it really is a sentimental sushi man with a wasabi statue. The very specific title did not lie. It did not lie. The title gives you what you get. Disciplined manner, it often sits cross-legged and motionless in its cell, facing its wasabi sculpture. Do you think the wasabi sculpture is, like... Do you think it is its wife, or it is made in the image of its wife? Or do you think it's an emotional support sculpture? On occasion, SCP-1690 will craft various sushi items using ingredients removed from its body. Previous items have included nigiri, with the topping cut in the shape of sakura petals, and salmon sashimi arranged in the shape of the kanji koi love. Consistently, after finishing each creation, SCP-1690 will present the sushi to -1 and seemingly interpret the sculpture's lack of response as rejection. What do you think? And the sculpture's just there like... And he just goes, damn it! I put my all into this! Ah! Here's a reenactment. Here's a reenactment of what's going on. What do you think? You think this thing that I made for you, do you like it? Damn it! I have no idea how sushi wasabi statue relation works, but it is a headache. It's imagine being a best friend with this guy, and he always comes to you crying that like he got rejected. SCP-1690 will then admit distress vocalization and consume the sushi. Stress eating. SCP-1690 will often request individuals to sample sushi it has prepared during interviews and testing. Should the offer be refused, or should a consumer react unfavorably, SCP-1690 will enter a state of shock and remain motionless while shedding layers of its body, before resuming its normal complacent behavior and returning the shed pieces to itself. This sushi man is emotional. Sushi crafted by SCP-1690 possesses no anomalous properties and is generally described by D-Class personnel as ordinary, nothing special, with the individual's ingredients being of decent quality. Despite repeated removal of material from its body, SCP-1690 does not appear to diminish in mass. Addendum 1. Foundation personnel located SCP-1690 and -1 at a fishing village near the Prefecture of Japan, following the condemnation of a reputedly haunted sushi restaurant. The restaurant in question has been abandoned by the owner, who according to the locals have moved the business after a long-awaited marriage. Oh, here we have some connection here. When SCP-1690 was instructed to accompany Foundation personnel, the entity complied without objection or inquiry, allowing itself to be taken into Foundation custody along with its wasabi sculpture. All nearby witnesses in the area were administered Class A amnestic. So here it says, the restaurant in question has been abandoned by the owner, who according to the locals have moved the business after a long-awaited marriage. I think, and this might be, oh shit, I forgot to like switch back to reading, I'm so sorry, but I think the sushi man is the owner. The long-awaited marriage is too coincidental to be like a different person. I think that whoever the person was dating might have caused the transformation of him becoming sushi man. And perhaps that person that he married or thought he was marrying or was together with vanished. Like, well, no, not vanished. Actually vanished. But he thinks the statue is now the person that he dated. And he's not really like, you know, making the connection that like, oh, it's a statue. No. He's thinking that's like his wife. And so the restaurant never got abandoned. It just became owned by a humanoid sushi man with a wasabi statue. That's at least my theory. Or yeah, that's definitely the implication. I think that's what it is. All nearby witnesses in the area were administered Class A amnestics. And then 2, following a series of interviews, SCP-1690 is confirmed to be associated with the family, the original owners of the condemned sushi restaurant. See interview log. There we go. It even says it. Though SCP-1690 demonstrates familiarity with human emotions, the extent of SCP-1690's telepathic understanding is currently unknown. Some of these SCP are very fun because they try to convey lore without directly saying it in an official document. So it just sounds like the Foundation is just glossing over extremely facts like fucking idiot. Yeah, sometimes it does sound like they're like not realizing like the obvious part, but in the same time, maybe because it's supposed to be obvious, and like somebody is writing the logs. From a Foundation standpoint, you don't have to write the obvious section in it because everybody else is already aware of it. Of course, that's not how an entry log works. You have to write the obvious stuff in it as well. But I can imagine if the logs are meant for Foundation only, that like obvious stuff can be left out. Because even if somebody new comes across and reads the logs, they're like, they will immediately like catch on to it. Like, oh, okay, I think I understand what the part that they're not trying to say is, because I'm gonna see that thing anyway. And then 1 + 1. Interview log dash. The following interview took place at SCP-1690 and Dr. Akagi are seated within SCP-1690's containment unit. SCP-1690 is arranging slats of raw fish it recently removed from itself. Actually, never mind. I just read the interview. We were way off the Kark. Mark. You okay? I mean, okay, K is right above M, so it happens. Good afternoon, SCP-1690. Good afternoon, esteemed doctor. Please, tell me more about why you practice your craft. My goal is to emulate my master. Master strived and honed his art to win the heart of his first love. Is that woman your sculpture is modeled after? Who is she? Yes, she's my master's lady. Her family and my master's family were allied in artisan trade. They served the noble classes, though her house was more auspicious than his. What happened to your master? He proved his worth to her and her family through his art. Now I seek to do the same. You have remarkable skill. It is not my master's equivalent. I have practiced, but it is not the same. Many years have passed. I lack something he was able to put into his craft. Are you missing a special ingredient? I do not know. My master was lonely and heartsick when he made me, but he found his path. Someday I will find my own. Okay, so he was not... Okay, yeah, we were off. And we were off. He's not the master. The master somehow created him and then fucking ditched. The master created life out of sushi and was like, good, I'm done, and left. Addendum 3. SCP-1690 has occasionally made requests for sheets of rice paper. Upon granting of these requests, SCP-1690 began to compose poetry, generally haiku or senryu, using soy sauce as an artistic medium. Among these works was the following composition translated from Japanese. Master, I follow your craft unerringly, yet an emptiness settles between my fingers. I fear there is something I do not understand. What does my art lack? Your hands shaped the art that led her to your side. What mystic charm do your art weave upon the Sakura maiden? How did your art warm such a smile? Do I not yearn for the same smile? My hands are your art. Why are we not the same? My words are your words. What does my heart lack? What do I lack? It's snowing on Mount Fuji. The mask was pretty fucked up to create a guy whose only purpose in life is to turn himself into food. Culinary Victor Frankenstein. I think it's more fucked up that, like, clearly he created a being that fell in love with his wife. And instead of, you know, tackling that and teaching it or rewriting its coding into like, hey, don't be in love with my wife, he's just like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna ditch you. And now we have this guy who's in love with his wife, who makes mediocre sushi, by the way. He makes mediocre sushi to a statue of his wife that he always sees as a rejection. He always thinks that thing rejects him because it's not emulating a smile. So it's all sorts of weird. It's all sorts of weird, but I gotta say, it's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start of our reading today. Jesus, actually, yeah, that's even weirder. What the hell's up with that? Yeah, right? But in the same time, it is very Frankenstein, as you said, because Frankenstein also earned for love. Frankenstein also was like, I would love to... in the book, in the book itself, not in the original movie, but in the book, Frankenstein actually asks Victor to create a wife for him. To create somebody somebody who's the same as he is. So that he can, not be alone. Because he realizes that he's different than everybody else. And in the book, Victor doesn't do it. Victor was about to do it, but he doesn't do it. And then the monster basically goes and kill. I think after that, the monster kills Victor's friend, and then terrorizes everything. Like, it's very interesting because at first the monster wanted confirmation. Actually, it was just Frankenstein's monster. The guy's name was... I'm fully aware, though. I'm very deep in the horror lore. I'm fully aware, but at the end, I'm still gonna call Frankenstein's monster. I'm fully aware that's what his actual title is. Yeah, that sounds right. I only read the Junji Ito's version. I think I remember those. Yeah, Junji Ito's version is based on the book. Because in the book itself, it does talk about how Victor chases his own creation across the world because the monster has terrorized his life, but the monster at the end only wanted, his creator's, at least somebody's love, And the fact that the one who created him ditched him and despises him made him go well, fuck you then. Which is fully understandable, to be honest.